It sucks to be judged based on your skin tone and what you don't do with your uterus. My dad is a black man, and he comes from a family that rarely acknowledges the fact that they are black, even though they are very obviously black. I do not know specifics. I know that they came from the States and settled in Canada, and you know, I was raised primarily around white family. My parents were married until my mom died, so I had both parents at home, but race was not discussed. So essentially, I come from a color-neutral household. My nickname in elementary school was Brownie because I had a darker skin tone than this. You know what my comeback was? Well, you're a vanilla ice cream cone. How clever. It's important for black voices to be amplified. We're seeing this all over social media. Here's the thing for me is I realize I have a black voice, and I have allowed other people's expectations of what a black person should look like, what a black person should sound like, how a black person should act like. And even my own expectations and my own the stereotypes that I've bought into. I have silenced my own black voice. I have felt that because of how I look, this is the hair I've been given, this is the face I've been given, because I don't feel like I've ever been held back from any opportunity because of what I look like. I feel like I don't have a voice. I don't have a black voice. I'm not entitled to say anything. I'm not entitled to, yes, I can stand up against racism, but I don't even have a story worth sharing because I am not black enough. I've always had that feeling because when you are mixed race, you are too dark to be white, but you are too light to be black. And then when something huge happens, you are required to pick a side. People being mistreated based on the color of their skin is wrong. You know, the worst for me was from kindergarten to grade 12, being picked on for the color of my skin, or being told that you're trying to be black, until I brought my black father to class to prove that yes, I am part black, and just because I don't have the hair, my skin is this color, and I don't act like black people act like on TV. And see, I grew up without a TV, so I never knew. I didn't know black culture in the States, and being Canadian, I don't know what black culture is here either. Again, mixed race thing, and maybe it's mixed race privilege. I don't know. Like this is the conversation. I don't want my voice to be silenced, even if it comes from a mixed race background, because I have struggled with my racial identity all my life. I don't deny one or the other. I don't understand completely. I come from two very diverse families, and you know, for example, like my grandfather did not come to her wedding because she married a black man. And even though, you know, he respected my dad and he treated me and my brother really well, I found out later, you know, I was in my 20s when I found this out. And actually, even in my 30s, speaking with an uncle, I found out that he was concerned, my grandfather was concerned about my mom having mixed race kids because of the struggles that we would go through. And, you know, he was right. My brother and I definitely have had our struggles with racial identity and fitting in. And where do we stand, and where do we, you know, how do we voice how we feel and be accepted in both communities? Because I don't know, like if you're a white person watching this, you may look at me and go, well, you don't have the problems that a full black woman has, and that's fair. And then you may be a black person watching this and going, you know, you're a white girl with a tan, what are you talking about? And that's also fair. So, but the thing is, you know, that's judgment against the color of my skin right there. So, you know, all we can really do is listen to each other's stories. And right now, the stories of black people, and I'm gonna say, you know, mixed race people, because a lot of times mixed race people look black, and so they, you know, look at Barack Obama, look at, well, you know, Trevor Noah. I know there's females in there somewhere. I mean, there's a whole long list, but people that look more black, who are half, You know, there are a lot of stories out there, and we all have our struggles with it. What I'm struggling with right now is my responsibility with it, and my struggle in voicing my racial identity on issues that, to me, I feel so removed from. But you know, I understand there's a reason why I'm not silent about the child-free lifestyle, because it brings awareness and it helps younger generations realize that they have a choice in the matter. And the thing is growing up in a color-neutral household where race was not discussed, and I know this was done on purpose and this was intended to be a good thing, just like when people comment saying, oh, I don't see color, I see people. I know they're probably coming from a good place, but in a moment like this, where Black people who have been silenced for so long, and I think of all of my ancestors, my Black ancestors who have been who were silenced their entire existence, and I'm not procreating, so I am the last of that. You know, I've been, the energy, the pain and the energy that I have been handed down, that's been handed down to me from previous ancestors, it has to be, I have to voice it, because I've said this before in previous episodes, that I believe that children are just the previous generation's unfinished business. Well, because I've chosen not to have kids, I am finishing all that unfinished business on behalf of all those that came before me. So even though I have this face, even though I have this hair, and even though I am, you know, might not be Black enough for you, I am here to voice how I feel. I am here to voice my story, because of those that came before me were silenced, and their sacrifice has given me the life that I have now, the life that I'm able to enjoy. I have freedom. I have the ability as a woman, as a single woman, as a woman that is not having children, I have complete freedom to live how I want, to express myself. And, you know, for me to not say something about it, even though I don't feel like I am Black enough to say something at a time like this, then that would be no better than someone else saying it to me, that, yeah, you're not Black enough to talk about your struggle and about how you feel in a time like this. So I think really within the child-free community, and, you know, anyone that's not child-free that's watching this, it's just to listen to other people. You know, we can't understand other people's struggles, but we can listen to the stories. I think the best thing right now is to listen to other people's stories who don't live like the way you do. And honestly, for me, the last couple days, I was really upset about feeling obligated to talk about race, especially because, well, I guess I didn't feel ready, and I think that people should express how they feel in different ways, and I think it should include private conversations and not just public displays of #Black Lives Matter. You know, I love social media. I love using it to connect with other members of the child-free community, and I see value in it, but there's so much inner work that has to be done with all of us. And as a mixed race person who has, you know, silenced her own Black voice, I have to do the inner work first. And I am making this video, and I'm even struggling while I'm doing this video right now because I still feel very inadequate, but you know what? I have to start somewhere, and this is what I can do. And the conversations I've had with other Black women from around the world who also don't feel connected to the struggles that Black American women have, and even other Black American women I've talked to who feel removed from the situation because they don't identify with what's going on either. You know, I mean, I realize that I have had my assumptions about the struggles of Black people, and speaking with them privately with other people who I would assume have more experience than I do, realizing, oh, we're kind of in the same boat that way. So, you know, everyone has a different experience. Everyone has a different struggle, a different battle, and we don't know until we, you know, maybe connect with somebody and share how we feel and go into the conversation without assuming anything. And that, looking at the tensions of the things that are happening in the States, and of course racism happens everywhere. I know that because I experienced so much of that in school. It's having the conversation in a, in a kind of in a low expectation kind of way. It's not, we wish we could say the right thing that would magically fix everything. But clearly, humanity's always been fucked up. Read the Bible. So, all we can do is share where we can and listen to other people's stories. And even if you don't understand, even if you cannot relate, just listening is a step. It's a start. And then we just have to see what happens from there. Again, my advocating is for the child-free community, and that is where I feel more comfortable and confident speaking on to. So anyway, that's what I have to say on this matter. You can always reach out to me if you want to chat further about it, and to all of my fellow biracial people who are struggling in this moment, trying to figure out where the fuck do we stand, because we've kind of always gone through life like that. It's okay. And write out how you feel, talk about how you feel, text, DM me, whatever. This is, for us, this is not a social media trend. This is our life. And whether we feel adequate enough or black enough to talk about it, or, white enough or whatever we are, like, it's complicated, it's complex. And I just hope that, we all learn something from it. We learn how to communicate better with each other. We learn how to share our stories, and we learn how to listen more. That's really all I can even think of at the moment. So thank you for watching, and stay safe, and let's just keep sharing our stories.